Everyone, and welcome to the Inside Voice Sports Show. My name is Travis Newton, and welcome here for the Names to Know segment with Chantell Taylor.
Hello.
Chantell is a former defensive end for the Chicago Bliss in the Lingerie Football League. She won championships in 2013, 14, 16, and 18. Chantell was recently drafted by the New York Stars of the newly constructed Women's Football League Association. Chantell, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Travis, for having me. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just trying to stay healthy, stay inside. How about you?
The same. Trying to stay away from this Rona and stay healthy as well. Stay.
All right, well, let's get started. My first question for you, the Lingerie Football League, a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people have no idea what it is, and it's kind of a weird way to get started in your professional athletic career. Can you kind of explain to me what your process of being introduced to the LFL was and how you got started?
Okay, so the LFL process, it was really confusing. A little backstory on how I got introduced to it. I had a full scholarship to play basketball in college, and I used to watch it on TV. And it began in college. I started losing a passion for it because of my coaches and some of the women I was having personality issues with. And I started watching it on MTV, and I was looking at it like, that's something I probably could do. So I just needed a change of like scenery in my life. So I ended up dropping out of college. I came home. The day that I came home, tryouts was the actual same afternoon. So as soon as I came home, I went right to the tryout. So when I got to the tryout, it was like, wait, what is this? Is it like some athletic thing? Or because it went from like girls in Nikes to girls in like thigh-high bow socks. So it was confusing because it's like, okay, so it was set up like an NFL combine. Like we ran a 40, we did push-ups, we ran through all different type of drills. But it started getting where you did cuts, like they started doing cuts. So for the most part, I made it through all of the drills, and when it came down to like the final cuts and through training camp, pretty much I had like a couple of discrepancies with my coach, but it was pretty much because he hadn't seen my talent yet, and I wasn't giving myself the opportunity to be seen. What I mean by that is I wanted to be a wide receiver, and like I didn't have like the vision to know what type of like football player position I was supposed to be in. So I guess my coach was kind of making me go down to the lineman line, and I was like, well, I don't want to be a lineman, so I wasn't ever going to the lineman drills. So pretty much after I got it in my head that I was there to be a lineman and I wasn't going to be a wide receiver, I just kind of took it for what it was. And once I embraced being in that position instead of like, I don't want to do this. It's not what I want to play. I don't want to be a defensive end, because that's how it was for a long time. Once I embraced it, then I became the best at it. So the rest is history. Yeah, I got 4 championships. I've been out the country playing football. I've been number 1 in my position the last 7, 8 years. I'm the most winningest player in the LFL. So all those things are cool, but it's a downside though. So
For those who have never watched the Lingerie Football League, can you explain the differences in traditional American football?
So it's traditional American football. It's just 7-on-7, and the women wear bra and like boy shorts. So the first part of it is really like sexual exploitation. It's like sex is the draw. That's what gets the seats filled, get the butts in the seats, and then we actually know like real football and like the knowledge of football. At least that's how my coach raised us up. And once we actually began to understand the sport and what we were doing, for the most part, we began to become real football players. So it's just because of who the owner is, it's more about like the image and the beauty of how you look in a uniform. Like he's more worried about the image and your looks versus the competitiveness of women being football athletes and actually being real football players. Like the things that people go through as far as us being women, nobody gets to see what happens be like backstage, like with him coming in the locker room yelling at us and wanting certain women to look a certain way, and if you don't look a certain way, then you think you worked hard up until the point to be in a position that you thought you were going to play because that's what you were doing the whole time, and then he comes in and tell you like, no, you're not going to be in a position because you're not pretty enough to wear the uniform today. So that's like the downside of it. Everything else for the most part is real as far as like us being real women athletes, but also people don't know that we don't get paid to play in the LFL. So in the LFL, there is a contract that we sign, and at the top of the contract it says amateur club league. So we actually pay to play in the LFL. And I'm grateful for the LFL because it has given me different exposure to a lot of things, but deep down inside, like even from being a teenager to evolving into adulthood, I knew like it was something about it that wasn't right. And I had to kind of become more of an adult to understand like what the actual problem was. But it's sexist, it's racist, it's discriminatory. Like he's very blonde hair, blue eyes. Those are the people to market. Like it's just a lot of things that go on as far as how he runs the league, how his counterpart Heather Thiessen helps him run the league. Like they send out emails trying to manipulate women, and so far as to go like, you guys have to remember that you're role models for these little girls. So basically, you need to lose about 30 pounds before you can wear the uniform again. So, me personally, I had never had any of those problems, but I sat around for like a decade and watched a lot of women get mentally abused because of the challenges they had as far as body issues and not being the weight that he wanted them to be. And that's pretty much like the downside of it. And it's not worth it. It's like we have to play for almost 8 months. We practice like twice a week. We have to promote games, sell tickets, and practice, and it's all mandated for free. And he is getting all the money because people that come to the game, they have to pay to see us play. But we have no insurance. Girls are getting really hurt, like serious injuries, and pretty much now he's in lawsuits because he's running from trying to help women that do get hurt. So it's bad. Like I'm just happy and blessed that I was able to be a part of it as long as I was and not sustain any like serious injuries, life-threatening injuries.
And Chantell, like I mentioned in your intro, you were recently picked up by the New York Stars and the newly formed Women's Football League Association. Have you ever had any conversations with the higher-ups in that association to make sure that some of these problems won't leak through into the new league?
So I haven't had any actual conversations per se, like in depth, but I know for a fact that the problems that we're having with the LFL, that it won't be. I just feel off the strength of it being founded by a woman, I don't think that that's what her angle is to allow us to go through any of the same discriminatory issues that we went through playing in the league ran by a man. As well as the owner of the league, who is Ja Rule. He's his name holds a lot of weight as far as in the entertainment world. So I don't think that that's something that they would want to be connected to. And just off the strength of the problems that I've been having with Mitch and how I've been voicing my opinion about it, everybody knows, like all over the internet, and everybody that's a part of the LFL world who's been following me and keeping up with what I'm saying and doing on the internet, it's not a secret that if you have an opinion or if you have a concern to voice and Mitch doesn't like it, he will immediately block you, try to sabotage you, kick you out, make it like you non-existent. So.
Okay. And a little bit of backstory for our viewers. The new Women's Football League Association, it is full uniform, full pads, so it's regular football with women now, and definitely seems like a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, so fully clothed, that's the best, that's the most happiest thing I'm happy about. Real pads, paid professional, actual paid professional, not like pretending, making it look good and then treating us like, you know what, crap. So this year, right now, it's all about like the growth and the development of the league. Everything is building up and coming together, and teams are being brought. And in the year 2021, that's when the league is actually supposed to kick off. So with this virus going around, we don't know like how long things are going to be on hold for everybody, but hopefully we can get the ball rolling soon, because I'm excited about it, being able to actually be alive in a time and an era in a decade where women have a chance to possibly be taken to play football on a serious platform that's big.
No doubt. And Chantell, I got a chance to watch you that you were a part of. Oxygen, pretty strong. What was it like on the show, and do you think it did a good job promoting female athletes?
So pretty strong. It was an amazing experience because obviously if you're not on TV, you just don't have people following you around with cameras and in your business. But overall, I don't know if that is like a lane that I would want to stay in, just because it is no privacy in that world. Like once you expose that, like your life to that, that's pretty much what people expect from you. So the money was great. Like we made a lot of money being on reality TV. That was the best part of it, because we played football all these years and didn't get paid. I'm also blessed. Like I don't want to take the credit away from the LFL, because if it wasn't for the LFL, a lot of things like how I'm sitting having this interview with you probably wouldn't happen. But at the same time, it's just how it's ran, and he just could have done a better job at running it. And for me to be shut out because a player or a fan or anybody thought we got paid, and I just politely told them the truth that we never got paid, I don't understand. If you know that it's no big deal, or if it's not a problem with you, why are you like trying to shield the truth? Why are you hiding it out? Why does everybody who speak the truth to you have to get blocked or kicked out, or you know what I'm saying? Like out of your way. So with that part of the LFL, that's really the bad part. That's really the only bad part. It's the owner. And his ways and how he wants to control things and run things, which is his, so I understand. But it just could go a different type of way.
And as far as just the football goes, tell me about the new women's football league and what enticed you to switching over.
So I was done playing football. Nothing to actually entice me into switching over, because for a long time I feel like I not necessarily wasted time, but I could have just been doing something different. And time is the only thing in life that we can't get back. So as I was growing up, I began to realize that I'm really chasing a dream. Like I was actually thinking something would actually come out of football, some type of money, some type of fame, something that would pretty much put me in the world where I could be an athlete or entertainer to live, instead of just hoping and wishing or having people look at me like that's what I am, and having people, oh, I know you make a lot of money, or I know you got endorsements, or I know, and it's not that. Like it's the farthest thing from that. So going into, like I said, a new league that actually is caring about the women and is going to pay us and going to give us insurance, it's a really big deal, because coming from not having that into going to having that, it's like night and day. And I gave up football because I won my last championship in 2018. My coaches walked away. When my coaches walked away, I walked away. I could have decided to stay, but it was no real reason for me to stay, because it was nothing really much more in it that I could accomplish. I won 4 championships in 6 years. We went to the championship 6 years straight though. So, like it's a big deal to me, but I actually let football go. Like now that I think the universe brought it back to me, because when I was like begging and pleading and like crying and praying like, God, why can't I get noticed for being an athlete? But the sport is football. It was like women never gonna be serious, like taken serious for wanting to be football players. So I kind of let the dream go. So I'm actually a truck driver now. I drive all over the 50 U.S. states, delivering food. But once it came back to me, like I found out about the WFLA the day after my 30th birthday. I was coming home from out of town in Miami. I was conference calling the call with Ja Rule, and me and him, we ended up talking and speaking like we had been friends forever. And that's kind of how the whole thing happened. So right now, I'm just really going with the flow of things. Like, I'm excited. I want it to happen, but if it don't happen, like, I already have a backbone, something that I can stand on. And I just wish I would have had something I could stand on a little bit before I realized, like, nothing's going to come out of me. I'm never going to benefit from being in a league that Mitch owns.
And Chantell, from what I've heard and seen so far, it definitely seems like you're a role model for little girls around the world that have been told no, that you can't play football, you can't wrestle, you can't do these sports that are dominated by men. What's your females out there that are trying to get into these sports, and what's the best way for them to do that?
The best thing I can say to any little girl that wants to be any type of athlete in the world, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to go for, always encourage yourself. And the number two thing, like, you always have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else won't believe in you. And if you don't come out knowing that you're capable of getting and doing and wanting whatever it is that you want in life, like, you have to have that mindset in order to accomplish it. You have to arrive at the destination in your mind before you actually arrive there in life. So that's how I live my life by.
Well, Chantell, I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Inside Voice Sports Show. This is Names to Know. Once again, Chantell Taylor, former defensive end for the Chicago Blitz Football League, a four-time champion, and recently drafted by the New York Stars of the newly constructed Women's Football League Association. Chantell, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Travis.
Back to football as soon as possible.
All right, bye.